Wife will die in next 3 years. Son has a 50-50 chance. This is here because we live away from her family, and we want to tell them in person. It's on my chest, and my chest only for now, but I need to get it off before the flights can happen. My wife got genetic testing results confirming a mutation that means onset of the disease will begin in the next 2 years with death, expected a year after. My son has a 50-50 chance he may have the gene as well, meaning mid-30s is when his onset will come. He's 2. I've buried family, I've buried friends. I've been on 5 deployments and have been to 39 countries, privileged to 39 different cultures, and allowed to observe their ways of dealing with challenges and grief. I moved on from service, experimenting in what it means to be an individual and think past a purpose that is commanded or expected, imagining one that is personal and appreciated for intuition and individuality. I earned everything I have and feel like I have climbed so much in life through perseverance. This is close to breaking me. I'm not sure what this test is or why. I can't look at my son laughing knowing I may have to bury him one day. I can't take my wife for what she should be taken for knowing she will be gone soon. I feel like death is the easy way out, and she got the ticket for that train, and I didn't. I know the only answer is to accept this challenge and do what I have always done, preserve her. I have always imagined myself as a person holding a bulwark as it took beatings, waiting for the moment to break guard and move forward. This beating has me shaking and almost crumbling behind my bulwark. I don't see a moment in the future to break guard and move forward for the first time in my life. Gentle internet hugs. You are allowed to break. You're in this too. You won't survive if you try to be tough for everyone else. Time to call in those support buddies, therapy, and make sure you get respite too. Can you please tell us what this disease is? Work hasn't billed me for my hotel stay on vacation. Partying face, partying face, partying face. The company I work for has annual global offsites for our team. This has been a really cool perk. I have been adding on a couple of PTO days on either side to check out the place, as they are places I have never been. The company has no problem if you change up the flight to match your travel plans, as long as you stay in the budget for flights. Some folks plan long layovers or fly to a different city to start a vacation. When we are making the travel arrangements, there is also the option to extend your stay at the negotiated group rate for the off-site hotel, on your dime of course. We have recently undergone structural changes, so the booking and payment processes are different now. On previous trips, at check-in, the hotel collected my personal card to pay for the extra nights. And to simplify, I would use my card for incidentals and expense anything that counted as the work part. This time when I checked in, they asked for a card for incidentals and said my stay was prepaid, including my 3 extra nights. I am sure I looked a little confused, and then responded, "Okay, here is my card for the incidentals." I was expecting by the time I checked out the billing would be adjusted. When I checked out, they closed out my folio. I hadn't charged anything to the room, so they refunded the hold. I didn't pay anything, and my card was not charged. We have been back a few weeks, and so far nothing has come up about this bill, so maybe it'll slide through. If so, my trip will be cheaper than I budgeted, as I only paid for my meals, activities, and souvenirs. The amount is nominal for the overall event cost, so it may not get caught at reconciliation. Hopefully so. I am certainly not calling it out as an issue. Cross your fingers for me. Crossed fingers, medium skin tone. The way I would simply never mention this to anyone ever again. Not a word. This is between you, the hotel, and God now. Meh, get back with us in a couple of months. A couple of weeks could just be a backlog. Sometimes things like this slip through the cracks, and it's not like it was intentional. You work hard enough for it. I really hope you enjoyed your stay. Smiling face with smiling eyes. I just found out my boss knew about my childhood abuse and did nothing. I was raised by 2 abusive parents. One of them is a fairly well-known public figure in my town and works in a public-facing field. I cut contact with both of my parents over 5 years ago, and I do not bring that relationship up anymore. It is a bigger town, and most people do not automatically connect me to them, which is intentional. As an adult, I have helped some of my siblings get out of my parents' house. We have tried to work through things together, but we are not very close. The trauma kind of hangs in the room with us. I think we remind each other too much of what happened. One of my siblings had it especially bad. He was essentially homeless as a teenager. He slept on the floor of my parents' office or in the garage. While all of us were physically and emotionally abused, he he was also deeply physically neglected. He spent most of his time roaming around town or staying at friends' houses. I used to try to give him money when I could, but I was not much older than him and did not have much. Sometimes I stole cash from my dad's wallet just so my brother could eat lunch. I have been at my current job for about 4 years now. I have a very tumultuous relationship with my boss. We do not get along, and he has a reputation for being unreasonable and vindictive. Over time, I learned the best survival strategy was to keep my head down. I knew my boss's spouse works in the same field as my father. Because of that, I have always avoided mentioning my family. I assumed his spouse probably knew who my father was and had an opinion about him, and that was the extent of it. I was wrong. A few days ago, my family came up in conversation. When my boss made the connection, I saw more than mild recognition in his face. He looked genuinely freaked out. That is when I found out he was the parent of my brother's best friend growing up. Not only that, he and his spouse had multiple conversations with my parents back then. He even knew about me, though he did not know that I was me. As we talked, he let it slip that he knew about the abuse we endured, or at least the abuse my brother endured. I do not know how to feel about any of this. I am genuinely grateful that he gave my brother a safe place to land when he was a kid. I told him that, but I also feel sick to my stomach. My boss and his spouse are mandated reporters. They knew what was happening and never said anything. My father is a powerful figure in town, and I know that complicates things, but it still feels wrong in a way I cannot fully articulate. Now I have to go to work every day knowing that my boss knew what my home life was like and did nothing. I do not know what to do with that information. I do not even know exactly what I am feeling yet, just a mix of nausea, anger, gratitude, and disbelief. On top of all of that, I am scared this new information could change how my boss treats me at work. Our relationship was already difficult, and now I do not know whether this makes me more vulnerable or puts a bigger target on my back. I needed to get this off my chest. Edit to add. Whether he reported or didn't report honestly isn't the part that's going to make or break me. I have my own beliefs about what likely happened, but that's not really the core issue. The point of my post was the shock of realizing that someone who now has authority over me knew something deeply personal about my childhood. That caught me off guard. On top of that, this is a boss who already isn't particularly kind to me, so of course I'm going to have some anxiety about how that information might be perceived or used. I don't actually feel the need to sit him down and ask for a full account of what he did or didn't do. We don't have a personal relationship. He's my boss. I was trying to think through how to navigate working under someone who knows something that vulnerable about me. Instead, the conversation has turned into people debating whether he might have reported or implying I'm unhealthy for even wondering. That wasn't really what I was asking. I was processing the shock and trying to figure out how to move forward professionally, not putting him on trial. I was adopted, but I still feel anger toward my biological parents and spend many nights crying alone. I've been holding this inside for a long time, and I think I just need to let it out. I was adopted as a baby. At the time, my parents couldn't have children of their own. I was loved, cared for, and made to feel wanted at least in the beginning. When I was around 5 years old, they had a biological child. Then later, another one. I don't think anyone meant for things to change, but they did, quietly. As the years passed, I felt myself fading into the background. I'm 20 now. My siblings are taken out to parks, shopping, little treats. They get new things without asking. I watch from the side. When I ask for something small, I'm told there's no money. After college, I wasn't allowed to continue my education. There was no real explanation. It just stopped. What hurts isn't only the material things. It's the feeling of being unwanted in a place that's supposed to be home. I cry alone a lot. I overthink constantly. I replay moments from my childhood and wonder if I imagine the love I once felt, or if I was only important until something real came along. I don't hate my parents. I'm just deeply hurt. I didn't choose to be adopted. I didn't choose to feel replaced. I only wanted to matter the same way. I'm not looking for advice or answers. I just needed to finally say this somewhere, because carrying it silently for so many years has been exhausting. Do you need a new mom? I have lots of really great mom hugs, really bad jokes that only I laugh at, am a good cook, make cookies and love to go thrifting haha. I'm also a great listener if you ever need a shoulder kiddo. I am confused. You said you finished college, but wasn't allowed to finish your education. What does that mean? Do you still live with them? Now I want to cry. That's a real punch in the gut. I wish you peace and happiness.